So for my book this semester, I read The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And I found it to be a somewhat useful book in that I think it really underscores the point of positive thinking. Um, he really just talks a lot about how a lot of successful people got to where they are today because they believed in themselves and that they thought that their goals were achievable, even if they were um, big at the outset. And that a lot of times people who aren't successful aren't able to achieve their goals because they come at things with a negative mindset. They think it's too big to happen. And they don't possess the right skill set. And so he really starts off the book by giving a few stories about this, and how like someone can really turn their lives around by changing their mindset. And then he delves into this idea of what he calls excusitis. So this is kind of ironic because it's like the disease of excuses. And I think we kind of all know about why diseases are in the media a lot these days. But he basically talks about how people will like make up excuses in a variety of fashions, and these will limit your ability to attain success. And so, for example, he gives the uh, notion of like health excusitis, where someone may think that they're not able or they're less able to do something based off of the way they were born or what life has given them as they've gone through life. And so he says like you should be really thankful for whatever you do have in terms of ability and health, and that there are people who are able to make do with a variety of circumstances. And he really just underscores this notion that you must wake up each day no matter what life has given you, and try to seize it, you know. And then he goes on to talk about like, for example, intelligence excusitis. And I think this is one that was really impactful to me, where he talks about how like entrepreneurs will often think that they don't have the right skill set. For a good example is like coding. A lot of companies these days require intense amount of coding, a lot of computer knowledge. And he talks a lot about how even if you don't have the right skill set, or you think you're not as knowledgeable or not as capable, it's really important to just go after it and put effort into it. And that's really what will make something come to fruition. So by thinking that you're not correctly abled, not correctly skilled, not correctly intelligent enough to do something, you automatically limit yourselves right from the offset. And then he talks more about like luck excusitis and age excusitis, which essentially are the notions that someone is like lucky, for example, and that's why they're successful. And he talks about how like luck really is not a thing, and that it's like sort of the culmination or zenith of a lot of preparation, work, and dedication. And that if you think someone's lucky, on it's really only like sort of the tip of the iceberg. What you're actually seeing, which appears to be like luck and fortune, is years usually of dedication and effort, and just waking up every day thinking I'm going to go after this. And then the age excusitis is thinking like I'm too young to do something, I'm too old. It kind of intersects quite readily with intelligence excusitis. And so I think that was something that was really impactful to me, where it's just like, you know, there's not really an good excuse to not go do something, you know, especially in relation to where I am and the privileges that I have compared to other people who are doing cool things. Like there's really not a good reason why I can't go out and seize the day and go after my goals. So definitely a good way to call in that regard. Then I think he also moves into talking about action and fear, and how if we let fear limit what we do on a daily basis, we will never really attain what could really be a cool lives for ourselves, you know. And so he says like it's a very human thing to be scared of something or to measure risks with great care. But at the end of the day, it's important to recognize that fear, put it to the side, and go after something with vigor. And the way to do that is just to like take action, you know. It's like to take that plunge. And that's like I think a good lesson when it comes to entrepreneurship. You know, there's a lot of risk involved. You're putting your money, your time, your capital on the line, and you can come up with probably 200,000 reasons as to why something will not be a good idea. And I mean, it's important to like at least have a solid foundation to go off of, but at the end of the day, it's important to take that plunge. And so he talks about that. He talks about being like an action active visionist, which is like just taking action, you know. And really he ends with like sort of talking about surrounding yourselves with good people, how important the environment you find yourself in can impact your success. You know, if you surround yourself with jealous, small-minded people who are looking to bring you down, it will get to you, and it'll make you feel as though you aren't able to do something. Whereas if you surround yourself with cool people who are looking to do big things, have a positive can-do attitude, you know, that will also impact your daily life as well. And so I think that was a really cool thing. I think this like really intersects well with the podcast series I listened to, which was like How I Built This. It was like an NPR entrepreneurial podcast. I think all of the founders that we listened to, like from a wide variety of different companies, everything from like Lululemon to Sweet Green, like they really just underscore this notion of taking the plunge and having that spark, but like really putting things in motion by thinking I can do this, even if they didn't have necessarily a relative skill set or deep expertise in that area. And so I think that was like one of the biggest lessons I took away from both the podcast series and book I listened to and read. Thank you.